In this video, I'm going to show you an exercise which aims to give you a better sense of connection between what is happening at your feet and ankles and what's happening further up the chain at the knees and at the hips. And the reason for this is that with feet that are overpronated, arches that are dropped, there's a consequence further up. So if the arch is dropped, then the shin or the tibia, the shin bone, is also turned in, and the knee is a bit turned in, and the hip is a bit turned in, and the gluteal muscles up controlling that turning in or turning out of the hip are maybe not switching on or firing quite as much, or not just doing their job as well as they could be. So for this exercise, we're going to try and get those gluteal muscles working a little bit more and just have a bit of a feel and a sense of, if I drop in, what happens at my hips? If I turn my hips out, what happens at my feet? To do this, you need to take your socks off so you can really feel the ground. So socks off, and then standing, feet hip distance or so apart, comfortable distance apart. Lift and spread your toes. Just get a bit of a sense of where your feet are on the ground, what your footprint feels like. Allow your weight to be evenly distributed between the outsides of the feet and the insides of the feet, between the front and the back. Little bend to the knees. And then you're just going to start by maybe taking the hands onto the hips and just drop the knees in. Yeah. Dropping the knees in and noticing what happens underneath the foot. See if you can keep all of the toes on the ground. Yeah. So this should bring your arch slightly lower to the ground, but if it's already quite low down, it might be that it's not got much further to go. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Keep the feet flat on the ground, and we're going to move the knees out, away, and noticing what happens to the arch now. Keeping the big toe rooted down into the ground, pressing down through the big toe, and just opening the knees up. So we're externally rotating up at the hips. And what you should feel is almost a sense of kind of screwing your feet maybe down into the ground and then unscrewing them out of the ground. So you can just have a bit of a play with dropping the knees in and then opening the knees out. And this opening the knees out should have a drawing up through the arch. Keep pressing down through the big toe, opening the knees. And you can even then go into doing a little bit of a squat. So bending the knees, bottom goes out behind you, but trying to keep that sense of pressing the knees out a little bit. Keep pressing the big toe down. And then coming back up. So screwing the feet into the ground by pressing the knees out. Come down into a squat. You can lift your hands up overhead if you want to challenge your core a little bit more. And then coming back up again. Yeah. But the main part of the exercise is dropping the knees in and then opening the knees out and just noticing what happens to the arch as you do that. If you have a try with this little and often, so something that you try and do a few times a day if your feet are relatively flat, to start to try and get them working a little bit more, get your hips working more, get the whole chain working a bit more.